In the book, The E-Myth, Michael Gerber talks about the 3 types of business owners. He also talks about how being good at something doesn't necessarily make it a good business for you. And then he discusses the difference between owning a business and owning a job. All of these things had a tremendous impact on me, and I began to rethink myself as a businessman and began to rethink my business as a business and how did I want it to look. And I owe all that to the E-Myth and Michael Gerber. So stay tuned. We're going to decipher some of this stuff right now. Michael Gerber identifies 3 different types of business owners. There's the technician, there's the entrepreneur, and then there's the manager. Now, the technician was someone who was really, really good at something, either building a certain kind of product or performing a certain kind of service. You could think of this kind of technician even as a musical artist, a technician on the violin or the guitar or the drums, or a technician that was able to invent or to make things run or to fix, or a technician that was great at a service. It could clean windows of skyscrapers or something of the sort. But that was the technician. They were really good at something. Gerber describes the next business owner as the entrepreneur. Now, having the vision to see that something is here at A, but it could be all the way up here and much bigger at Z is one thing, but having the talent to take it that direction and to make it so is another thing. So there is this 3rd type of business owner personality, and that was the manager. The manager knew how to get technicians to make sure that they could fill the vision of the entrepreneur. The manager was super important to the equation and a lot of times overlooked. Once I read the book, The E-Myth, I started to see things that Michael Gerber was pointing out all around me. How many times have you seen someone who was good at baking a pie and think they were going to open up a bakery and then fall flat on their face? You know why? Because being good at baking a pie doesn't give you any credits for being good as a business person or knowing how to grow a business. In fact, they may be polar opposites. Maybe good pie makers don't make good businessmen, or maybe they do. Or maybe there's a certain element that can be brought together. But most likely, the technician is probably not a good visionary and is probably not a good manager. While technicians are perfectionists and really great at delivering a product or a service, owning a business is about branding. It's about identifying a market and reaching that market and then being able to fulfill that promise to that prospect every day, day in and day out. It's no wonder that being a great technician isn't enough to launch a great business. Gerber says that your business is nothing more than a distinct reflection of who you are. He says, if you're sloppy as a person, then your business will be sloppy. If you are disorganized, your business will be disorganized. If you are greedy, your employees will be greedy, giving you less and less of themselves and always asking for more. If your information about what needs to be done in your business is limited, your business will reflect that limitation. So if your business must change, like it must continually change to thrive, you must change first. If you're unwilling to change, your business will never be capable of giving you what you want. Probably the most important thing I picked up from Gerber was that there is a huge difference between owning a business and owning a job. A lot of people go out to create businesses, but they just create themselves a job. It happens all the time. I'm guilty of it. Probably you are too. It takes a lot of thought to sit down and say, how do I make this business into a business that I run instead of a business that runs me? 99% of the entrepreneurs out there have just created themselves a job that they own, which is even worse than the regular job where someone else owned the company and you worked for them. Because now, not only are you working and responsible for everything, you're also responsible for the downsides. When you used to work for your old boss, when they lost money, you still got a check, at least for a little while. But as the business owner, if you don't make money, you don't make money. Gerber says that if your business depends on you for the day-to-day things that need to be done, then you don't own a business. You own a job. All right, before we move on to the next point, please hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe. All right, here we go. So if you haven't read The E-Myth by Michael Gerber, maybe you ought to take a look at it. If you're really sincerely interested in owning a business and not a job, this could be the first step. It certainly was an eye-opener for me. And for those of y'all that have stayed to the end, I would like to give you the first 31 pages of my book, My Life in 1,000 Houses, 200 plus ways to find bargain properties. And the reason why this first 31 pages is so important is because it's all about branding. We're talking about Michael Gerber and that businesses, it's all about branding and finding your market and being able to deliver on your promise that your service or your product delivers. So this 31 pages is all about branding. I wish someone would have talked to me about this before I started my business, because I had to go back and start over again and again and again until I got it all right. When you read this first 31 pages of this book, you're going to understand exactly what to do so that you never have to rebrand again. And I think it'll save you a lot of time, and it'll get everything from your business card to your letterhead to your websites and your email addresses. Everything will be pulling in the same direction, and it'll make perfect sense. It's 31 short pages. You owe it to yourself to read it. So all you have to do to take advantage of that offer is go to 1000houses.com/branding, and that'll get you the 31 pages, or click on the link right here, and that'll get you there as well. All right, now follow me to the next episode.